Here, you already know what it is. It's your boy, YungContent, the unofficial Sensei of the culture, chilling with Benji. That's your dog's name?
His name is Uzi.
Uzi.
Yeah, it's not Benji.
Speaking of Uzi, we're chilling right next to Ulysses, right here.
What's up, guys?
I met Ulysses through just a random fortune of events, I think that's a word. And he ended up designing the logo for the show. I've also found he's very interesting to talk to. Bang. Super into what I'm into. Fintech, future technology, gaming, and all the smorgasbord of things. Where you from? What's your name?
What's up, guys? Yeah. My name is Ulysses Oriana from Los Angeles, California. Living in Charlotte for the past 9 years. I love video games. I work in the game industry. I work at 704 Games here in Charlotte. We make all the NASCAR games.
Damn.
That's that. Graduated from Central Piedmont Community College.
Everyone graduated. If you're from Charlotte, you're gonna go to CBC and transfer.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not gonna do the transfer because I already found the job. Yeah. So I'm good. I might go to university if I feel like it, but I'm happy right here.
Sweet. And we met through Southern Tiger.
STC, our boys, our art group over there. Chilling with those guys, and met this guy just sort of hanging out there, always on his PC, chilling, saying some crazy ass one-liners that only he would say. So that's how he stands out. Hold the reins. Who else says that?
Exactly. It's in my room. You guys seeing it because I switched to the studio, but we're in his studio. We're in his laboratory right now. I'm happy to be here. He has some really cool stuffs all over here. This guy, this awesome gaming PC, this curved monitor. What you doing in here?
Yeah, so I come in here and I work on personal projects like video games, or sometimes I draw on my drawing monitor, play a ton of video games on here. Just sort of chill. I just got this beautiful 32-inch, curved monitor. It's very nice for that Apex, for that League, for that everything. Sure. It's very sweet.
Apex video coming soon. How you like that game?
Liking it, man. Feels old school. Feels real old school. Feels like, back in the day shooters. I'm talking about Modern Warfare 2 sort of days, when I used to put like a month of my life into that game. Stupid, but I loved it. Feels classic, feels nostalgic, smooth. And you're always surprised when a game drops like that. Yeah. Kind of out of nowhere, but then it's like super clean and well done. Yeah. It's like, we need that.
You gotta tell me, because I'm having a mental block when it's those Call of Duty shooters with those, how's that motion? How's that motion?
Movement is always gonna be the thing that makes a game sort of stand out the most. I think that's the thing that takes the longest to get down, because every game wants to be really unique with their movement and obviously combat, but movement is, I think, what sets games apart. And like Titanfall was like all about movement. That game was all about smooth, straight from gunfire to sprinting to sliding to all that crazy stuff. They got that down to a pack. Because if you remember, the creators of Titanfall is Respawn, who used to be Modern Warfare 2. They made Infinity Ward. They eventually became Respawn. Yeah, so they have, I think they have a lot of heads there that know how a game should feel, especially like a good shooter game. And so they knocked it out. I mean, they used the same engine I think that they built Titanfall 2 on. Titanfall 2 is a super underrated first-person shooter. Yeah. I mean, it won like all these awards, was nominated, incredible. I spent a ton of hours on it, but it never really hit the mainstream running because I think at the time, I want to say Battlefield 1 came out and a couple other like big shooters came out. And so the competition was kind of unfair, you could say. They didn't have the money behind it, but they created a super solid game and then they just built on top of it with Apex. Yeah. And you could tell that, this is crazy, I was talking to my coworkers, that it feels like they waited for the other Battle Royale games to come out, like Fortnite, for like all these other, PUBG and all these other games to kind of do their thing. They kind of came out kind of early, right? Yeah. But they're always kind of shitty right at the start. PUBG was terrible at the start, but it was unique. Fortnite was very different than PUBG, but it was shitty at the start too, and now it's, where it's at. It's the powerhouse it is. Yeah. But even then it's losing, some audience, especially the older people. They see it and they see it's a huge fad with kids these days with, like it's all over everything. People get sick and tired of it. And so I think Apex came at just the right time when people were trying to get off Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm kind of late to the party because, I've been doing other things like filming and life. but being around you and around Cheeks and just this whole VR thing that I'm doing, I'm trying to revamp my gaming life. And it's cool to be around gurus and senseis of gaming like this man. I know you're a big TSM fan. TSM all day.
Yeah, you don't get me started.
For those that don't know what TSM is, it's
what is TSM?
Esports.
History lesson. Fuck.
The future. I always say it.
Yeah. So if I were to give you a quick rundown what TSM is, so it's my favorite esports brand. Anybody who knows me knows I won't shut up about them. This is a pretty special thing of mine. Probably my most prized possession. It's a signed 2016 TSM jersey. It's signed by the entire 2016-2017 League of Legends roster. At the top, I have Biofrost, Bjergsen. Under the name Hanser, I have Parth, Doublelift, Hanser, and Svenskeren. I think that's part of the fun of it, is like being obnoxious about it and kind of having fun with it. But TSM literally stands for Team Solo Mid. They started as a League of Legends team run by Andy Reginald Din. Back in, I want to say 2011, 2010 is when they started. And ever since then, they've always had this attitude, right? It's kind of like, fuck it, whatever, Bay life, that's our thing, fuck it. But at the same time, it's all about having that attitude, that kind of fuck it attitude, but getting your shit done. Yeah. Because they were the #1 team for like 6 years, running. They were always like top dogs. And so I always kind of like emulated that, like that kind of chill mentality, but always getting your shit done. Yeah. And so that, that always kind of meshed with me.
Like my whole YungContent ninja band I'm trying to pull off with the flowers, because, we in touch with the feminine and masculine. Yeah. But, this whole esports thing has taken off, and TSM has been a part of that.
Certainly. I'd say they're one of the first big League of Legends teams, and it's pretty interesting to see their start as, focus on League of Legends. Their whole team, everything structured was around League of Legends. But of course, they started getting more money, they started getting more infrastructure, they started hiring out, and they came out with Counter-Strike team. Eventually they picked up like all these different teams. Rocket League, I think they got recently into.
Yeah, I like Rocket League.
Yeah, so they've spread, like, their roots may have started in League, but they spread. And there's a couple other orgs like that. Yeah. Cloud9, FlyQuest,
Speaking
Immortals.
Of spreading,
yeah.
How's the gaming community in Charlotte spreading? I mean, we went to that place called Get Some Game.
Get Some Games.
Which I highly recommend you check out.
Very cool spot.
On Plaza Midwood, Get Some Game. Shout out to the culture. But how you see this stuff spreading in this community? Yeah,
it's interesting because I think when you start paying attention to it, you start seeing it a lot more. Like recently, I read in the Nerve. The article, they are a newspaper replaced, who was it, Creative Loafing?
What up, buddy?
So Nerve did an article, I want to say their very first article in December on Charlotte, like the Charlotte Esports organization. I can't remember exactly what they were called. That they're doing work here. You got your, chill, buddy, chill. So you've got,
It was the play.
Yeah, you've got all these small esports like communities popping up, especially the fighting community here is huge, especially Smash Bros, Tekken, all that stuff is really popping. And I like to see it. I expected it. I super have been expecting it forever. I've been calling it forever. And I wanted to get in on this a lot sooner.
Who's on the forefront?
Forefront, hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Anybody been picked up out in the city of Charlotte?
We're talking about individuals? Well, this is the crazy thing, too.
Before you say that, I ask these questions because I'm into creating my own esports organization one day. Ill Glory Gaming. We're going to have dope jerseys. I'm putting this on the record. What's today?
Today's February 18th.
It's on the record.
19th. February 19th.
It's on the record.
2019.
And, I really love the community. I love the underdogs. I love those people who have different interests than me. And I think they're highly skilled. They are pro players. Just as the NFL, NBA, they have their skill mentally, physically. But
there's something special about esports and the way that those players go about their lives and their competitive likelihood, because it's a very cerebral. Especially esports is extremely cerebral. Like these people have to be super in tune with the physical and the mental. Yeah. Like I always say, it's like playing crack. It's like playing chess on crack. Yeah. Don't play on crack. Yeah. Don't do that. But
insert crack meme.
But these guys are crazy because if you consider like even pro players, their daily practice time is probably anywhere between 6 to like 10 hours max, right? They can't maximize past like 8 or 10 hours because of physical limitations. These esports players on record go 14, 15, 16 hours a day practicing, like daily, and still competing. And so these guys put in about double to triple the practice time than an average like NFL or basketball player. There's statistics out there. I don't know it, but
you need to get those boys out and build a house for them where the sunlight is everywhere and it's not like killing their vibe.
No, I mean nowadays you start seeing these
houses pop up. No,
these offices, dude. Yeah. Beyond that, we're already beyond like gaming houses. We're into like offices where these guys come in, practice, and they go home to their apartments. You know, and that's another like great step forward that they're doing.
And on top of gaming, you're an amazing artist, right? So I mean. Yeah. I think he's an amazing artist. I'm waiting for that second logo.
There's sketches downstairs. I'm about to show them. Y'all see that footage, you know, eventually.
What got you into drawing?
Drawing? I think I've always been into drawing. That's always been a thing, but I would credit it a lot to my brother. I think my brother, you know, he used to sketch and bring home these like really dope sketches, and people would always praise him and tell him, you know, how amazing they were. You know, I remember one time, to this day, I still remember, he made this NASA space shuttle, brought it home. It looks so dope. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I wanted to do that. And so I
drew it.
He drew it. You know, drew it all by hand. And I thought it was the coolest. So he's always inspired me. My brother, he's always, you know, always shout out to him. He always like pushes me, inspires me to do more. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have been.
Brother Ulysses.
Eric Oriana, you the shit. You the best. I love you, brother. You the best. But yeah, so you know, he pushed me to get into like game development. He got me into like art. He got me into like everything. That dude is, you know.
Aren't you creating a video game out of all this stuff too?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah.
Plug that in.
Oh yeah, let me shameless plug. So
I've heard about it, and it has a lot of moving parts. It's very intricate.
We need to market it. But so the game is Axel Smooth Saves Charlotte. It's a classic kind of homage to beat 'em ups like Double Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those side-scrolling arcade games where you just shove in quarters and keep slamming it. So this game is totally based in Charlotte. You know, like all the environment is landmarks and streets that if you're in Charlotte, you will recognize, especially Noda. Your boy over here did do like 90% of the environment work, so most of it is me. There's a little bit of other guys' vision, but it doesn't even matter because we all came together and we made it whole. So like I'm only a piece of it, and these guys all killed it.
You would expect that to be already happened. You know,
in the
city, but it's like you know, first of its kind.
As far as we know, absolutely, and it looks super nice. So you know, we're getting it wrapped up here in probably a couple weeks.
Projected dates for people to come play it, or like
exactly. So March 23rd, third year anniversary. Abari's third year anniversary should be March 23rd. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a Saturday. There should be music, food. Plenty of things to do.
For those that don't know
Abari, if you don't know about Abari, it's on Noda. It's this awesome little spot. It has a bunch of classic, arcade cabinets and like all these crazy like old games, and they keep them like freshly like tuned, so it always plays well. You can get your drink on. You always got a food truck out there. Yeah. Super chill spot. Love that spot. And they're helping make all this possible. Yeah. Because without them, without Zach, the owner of Abari making it all work, like we wouldn't even have the opportunity.
So you're gonna have an arcade style.
We're gonna have our own booth, and it's when we're done with it, we want the public to be able to go and play it, enjoy it. We want to make sure it's either free or really, really low cost so that people can just enjoy it. Because we're all volunteering basically for it. We're not receiving like a dime for it. We're just making it out of like love.
Yeah, and I think that's really gonna, pick you up on the radar, people. And, people, especially with that fun experience. And I know you're, perfectionist. You like, even with the logos you made for me, countless drafts. So you got a good future in that stuff.
Appreciate it,
for sure. So for my Charlotte community or my community worldwide, if you think you got some game, play that man's video game. Hit me up. Maybe we can play Apex online together.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Maybe show me some ropes and commentate.
Yeah, I think we can, kill some fools together, have some good time.
Some people, I know some people don't like games. My girlfriend's getting into gaming because it's been about when I was young. I had a Sega Genesis, and
OG.
It was a Jurassic Park that got me hooked. That cartridge. It was the Sonics that got me hooked, and all the way up till I'm 22, I go into the sales and marketing world. This is a little backstory. And I had to give up the games for around 7 years. So I haven't been I literally took a hiatus for 7 years. But now I feel like I'm ready to get back with balance. Would you got any suggestions for people to balance their like life? I mean, is that something you need
in gaming? I think, in general, balance is key to everything. I think in moderation, everything can work. Even in gaming, like me working in game development, me trying to play as many games as I can. Honestly, I mean, first things first, take care of your responsibilities.
You have to have like self-awareness?
I think so. I think you need to have a pretty good attune of what your needs are with the people around you. Like video games are great, but they'll steal your time. Like anything. So balance is everything. Play games, I say, that matter. If you love a game, I mean, personally, I don't sink too many hours into one game at a time. I like to spread it out and really open my horizons, because you never know what you're going to find. There's some super sick communities out there, really great people, and it's good to sort of spread the love to every sort of game.
Righteous. What's your favorite game of all time? I mean, I can't even do that to you, dude.
That's hard.
I can't make you sit on the Iron Throne and
nice
claim
reference.
one.
No, if I was one series that like I can always go back to, I can always play on the couch with like my friends or whatever.
You gotta say Smash.
Halo 3. Halo 3 was, that was the first game that I'd say I got competitive in. Like, if anyone who knows the ranks,
guacamole and chips is also right.
Yeah, that's my shit. That's always my go-to. Even nowadays, my friend Avocado, my other friends, that's the game that we all like met on, that we all became like best friends on. First time I started paying attention to the competitive scene. Yeah. Halo 3 was a gate opener. It was a huge eye opener for me.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about? It's a good question, I think. How do you feel about like V-Bucks and having these skins that you can't really transfer to other games, and kind of like that organization owns it all in their servers? Like, think that these different tokens, these different assets should be interoperable?
Well, the question becomes microtransactions and that whole business right now. I think I understand why it came about. I think there's no question about why it exists and why it's so unbelievably efficient in how it, it operates. It makes sense, and I understand it, and I actually don't demonize it. I don't think it's an awful thing. I think there's definitely a place for that. I think that it's just become a little too prevalent, and I think I don't like the expectation that it creates. More so, I think I don't like the expectation on players, because you get all these free titles. There's a lot of free games out there, and they all work off microtransactions, and they all like rely so heavily on it. And I think that ends up hurting the consumer a little bit, and it doesn't always feel like you have control or ownership over the title. And I don't really like that. I like to sell a game. I like, once you buy it as your property, you should be able to modify it. Mod games, you should be able to do whatever you want with that game. It's yours now. And so I don't personally like that model a tremendous amount, but one of my all-time favorite games, League of Legends, is completely driven off microtransactions, but I think they've done a very good job with it. I don't think it's exaggerated or anything crazy, so there's a place for it.
If you had a choice to go to the Super Bowl or a League of Legends Championship?
League of Legends Championship, 100%. Wow. It's just, there's a different energy there.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, if I went to Super Bowl, I'm sure the energy there is insane and incredible, but there's something special to me about League in general. I went to the World Finals 2016.
Where was that at? New York?
Staples Center.
Okay.
So it was 2016 Staples Center.
And Invictus Gaming are your 2018 World Champion!
LA.
And I have a story about that too. But that championship was insane. That whole weekend was fantastic, and the professionalism of everybody, there was unbelievable. The game itself was one of the best World Finals ever to date. Everything about that World Finals was insane, and the greatest thing happened right after. We went to grab some.
This dog is literally grappling my leg. I'm done. I love you. You're cool. Just need to get you a...
Do I need to kick you out?
I need to get you a controller.
I might need to kick him out. So the coolest thing happened to me in 2016, World Championship. I went with my roommate, and my brother picked us up afterwards. So after the match was over, fantastic game, we decided to just Google Korean barbecue. So get some KBBQ. We just watched 2 Korean teams duke it out. Let's go get some barbecue. Yeah. So we leave, Google the nearest place, get there. We're probably eating for 2 hours, about to head out. Who do you think walks in to the Korean barbecue restaurant?
Who? Someone on this wall?
SKT, the winners of the 2016 World Championship.
Wow.
The exact team that just won the World Championship walks into this restaurant and just surround us and sit all around us. Oh, wow. And it was the most jarring, what is happening experience. I mean, it was really cool, and obviously they were very chill. They were, not rambunctious, but they were drinking, having a great time. But
celebrating that W.
Dude. Great time.
That was cool. So they just randomly came up to y'all?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really speak to us because, you know, they're all Korean. We couldn't really say much. Yeah. But I did say what's up to the coach. You know, he sat right behind me, and I was just like, hey, Kona. Yeah. He was like, turned around, and I was like, great game. Yeah. And he just like, oh, thank you. It was, you know, one of those experiences.
Dope. Your background cam went off. What would you say I need to make an efficient esport team?
To making it, at this point, it's really hard because I think
organic growth.
Organic growth is definitely number one. You need help. Number one, you can't do these things alone, especially esports organizations. I mean, these things have become really professional nowadays. Like, there's an expectation for any esports league to take care of their player, to sign fair contracts, to make sure people get paid, especially on time and the right amount, and just getting all the information like straight. And honestly, building a community. That's number one. I think all these esport orgs, especially the older ones, all started off really dope videos or just fan engagement, you know, like all that kind of stuff. And just making the people who are involved feel like family. You know, that's always number one.
Yes.
No stress.
So we're winners because we're going up regardless. And thanks for being on the show.
Dude.
You got any final words for the people?
Man, just all I gotta say, just have fun, man. You know, have a good time. Do what you love.
Yeah.
You know, try to make every day a little exciting. Give back. When you give, you receive. You know, always share that love. Be positive. You know, all that good stuff, man. Just be good.
That's some content wisdom right there. Yo, thanks for watching, guys. Live the dream. Eat ice cream. This is your boy, YungContent. Ulysses.
Hold the reins.
Hold the reins. TSM?
TSM.
Let's get this esport thing going.